The photographer arrived at 1300 hours and took photographs inside my flat. The sniffer dogs followed Jaden's scent to the flat where the security guard was living, but the police refused to enter this flat, and we were once again informed that the police had no search warrant and could not enter the guard's flat. The members of our family, community activists, friends, and members of the community were in and out of my flat on the 14th and 15th of May 2025. On the 16th of May 2025, we were contacted by the police and informed that they were unable to gather forensics and evidence on the 14th of May 2025 and wanted access to the flat. The photographer was also present for the second time, and this was when the entire case took a turn and I started to get framed for Jaden's murder. I was informed that his school bag, uniform, blood-stained underwear, and bed sheets with his blood were found on the 16th of May 2025. Have I been given a copy of the docket? I reserve the right to reply to any allegation made by the state which is not covered in this affidavit. At this stage, I deny any wrongdoing and any involvement in any of the offences contained in the charge sheet. However, I wish to bring the following to the attention of the above honourable court. Jaden is normally dropped off from school by his school transport between 3 and 4 p.m. On the 13th of May 2025, he had failed to return home by 4 p.m., which was the time I stopped working. At that time, I was chatting to my mother and informed her of his non-return, and due to not having airtime, I asked her to contact the transport owner and driver to ascertain if Jaden was dropped off and if there was an accident or delay. My mother contacted the transporter, and a while later she was informed that Jaden was dropped off around 14:45. I started to panic and look for him around the complex. It was getting closer to 5 p.m. and he had still not returned and could not be seen in the common area. I then approached the day shift guard, and he informed me that he could not recall if Jaden entered the complex. The night shift guard who lives on the premises confirmed that he saw Jaden enter the complex and he did not exit. We also confirmed with the child who was dropped off after Jaden, and he confirmed that Jaden entered the complex. My mother sent her friend to collect me around 7 p.m. with a motor vehicle, and we all went to Florida SAPS to report Jaden as missing, with my personal circumstances and to address allegations leveled against me, insofar as they are known to me, as well as to address the factors to be considered by the above honourable court, which are contained in Section 60, subsection 4 to Section 60, subsection 9 of Act 51 of 1977. The background to this application. I was arrested on the 11th of July 2025 at my mother's home on the suspicion of having committed the offences as set out in Annexure A of the charge sheet. I add that I have been incarcerated since the 11th of July 2025 for a period of approximately 8 days. After my arrest, I was detained in custody at Rudaport SAPS, and after my first appearance in court, I was detained at Johannesburg Sun City Prison. At my defense, I have been advised that I bear the onus and burden to show that the interests of justice permit my release on bail. I fail to understand how I could be charged with the murder of my son when I was the person fighting for answers from the police and doing everything possible to ensure that my child's killer and or killers were found and arrested. I will attempt to place factors before this honourable court to show that it is in the interest of justice to permit my release on bail.
Tiffany Meek's bail hearing. The latest updates on her son's murder case. The bail hearing of Tiffany Meek continues in the Rudaport Magistrates Court on Monday. Meek, 31, from Fleurhof, faces charges of murder of her 11-year-old son Jaden Lee Meek, crime and injuria, attempting to defeat or obstruct the course of justice, and defeating or obstructing the administration of justice. Prosecutor Olga Mapikol will argue why the state opposes bail for Meek. He is expected to call the investigating officer to the stand to testify. However, Meek's defense lawyer, Navin Naidu, kicked back and said this would give the state enough time to prep their witness. The court had to postpone the matter as another pressing matter was set down in the same courtroom. Magistrate Anlin Africa said the other matter on the court roll had to be heard, and if all goes well, a bail judgment could be delivered on Tuesday. On Friday, Naidu read out Meek's affidavit to the court, where she reiterated she was innocent. I fail to understand how I am charged with murder of my son when I was the one fighting for suspects to be found. I deny any wrongdoing and deny any offense against me, it read. Meek remained adamant of her innocence. On the day of Jaden Lee's disappearance, she stated she was working from home, and once he did not come home, she did not have airtime and asked her mother to contact the school transport. The scholar transport confirmed Jaden was dropped off at 4:45 p.m. She said when she went to report her son missing, police did not open a missing persons docket because she had to wait 24 hours and refused to search door to door in the apartment complex as it was too late, after 9 p.m., and they did not have any search warrants. Meek said her son was found after 6 a.m., yet she was only informed at 6:50 a.m. My son could still have been alive if he had been taken to the hospital immediately or if an ambulance had responded, Meek's affidavit read. She stated police searched her apartment on May 14th. It must be noted that his school bag and school books were not found in my home on May 14th. Sniffer dogs followed Jaden sent to an apartment, but police said they did not have a search warrant, it said. Meek said the personal belongings of Jaden were found on May 16th, but she claimed she is being framed. If this were true, I would have been arrested immediately and not a month later, Meek stated. The court also heard that Meek, who works as an executive assistant at the Jumpstart Foundation, was the breadwinner of her family. I do not fear standing trial as I believe justice will prevail, the court heard. Jaden Lee was last seen on May 13, 2025. According to a charge sheet presented to the court on Monday, the state is set to prove that Meek struck her son with a blunt object. The object is yet to be identified. It has been revealed that blood was found on Jaden Lee's bed. His school clothes and bag were also found in the apartment, as well as his school books, which had blood on them. Evidence analyzed by forensic experts reveals Jaden Lee was killed in his home. Jaden Lee's body was only found the following morning near the house on the staircase. Meek was arrested on Friday, July 11th, at her mother's house. Like and subscribe for more. Thanks.